Hello friends, a very happy Sunday to the lovers of Sunday Kehwa sips. I'm very happy today because today's episode happens to be the 50th episode of Sunday Kehwa sips. Thanks Mushtaq Bala and thanks Kashmir Pen and thanks to the followers of Sunday Kehwa sips. So, today I'm going to relate part of a ghost story, and this ghost story has been written by Mark Twain. It was written in the year 1888, and through this story, Mark Twain pokes fun at human gullibility. And by the way, this ghost story is relevant even in the present times because of our susceptibility to fake news and misinformation. And this story, it is satirical and hilarious at the same time. I remember my father used to narrate this story, and another story that he used to narrate was The Monkey's Paw. So in this story, the narrator moves into a rented room in a deserted house in New York. And at night, he experiences signs of a haunting. A clammy hand, strange noises, heavy footsteps. His bed covers are slowly pulled off, and then appears a ghostly figure. And then there is a comedic twist. So I'll read just a few paragraphs because I cannot possibly read the entire story. You have to do the reading yourself. I'll just read out a few paragraphs to trigger your curiosity, as usual. So, a ghost story written by Mark Twain in 1888. I took a large room far up Broadway in a huge old building whose upper stories had been wholly unoccupied for years until I came. The place had long been given up to dust and cobwebs, to solitude and silence. I seemed groping among the tombs and invading the privacy of the dead that first night I climbed up to my quarters. For the first time in my life, a superstitious dread came over me, and as I turned a dark angle of the stairway and an invisible cobweb swung its slazy woof in my face and clung there, I shuddered as one who had encountered a phantom. So I am leaving the entire story and coming to the end because I cannot possibly read the entire story. I'll just read, as I said, I'll just read a few paragraphs, and now I come to the last paragraph. I never saw such an eloquent look of shame, of pitiable humiliation overspread a countenance before. The petrified man rose slowly to his feet. He rose slowly to his feet and said, "Honestly, is that true?" "As true as I'm sitting here." He took his pipe from his mouth and laid it on the mantel, then stood irresolute a moment, unconsciously from old habit, thrusting his hands where his pantaloons' pockets should have been, and meditatively dropping his chin on his breast, and finally said, Well, I never felt so absurd before. The petrified man has sold everybody else. And now the mean fraud has ended by selling its own ghost. My son, if there is any charity left in you, for a poor, friendless phantom like me, don't let this get out. Think how you would feel if you had made such an ass of yourself. I heard his stately tramp die away, step by step by step, down the stairs and out into the deserted street, and felt sorry that he had gone, poor fellow, and sorrier still that he had carried off my red blanket and my bathtub. So I hope I have triggered your curiosity. You can read Mark Twain's short stories, his ghost stories, and this I remember since childhood, and I think you'll love the story. So this is all for the moment, and I'll meet you again next Sunday. Till then, toodaloo. Hope you have a good evening.